guess after having a chance to look at the film of everything, anything else stand out?
Well, obviously shooting is the first thing, and I think mentally we had shot the ball well. We've shot the ball well in games, shot the ball well in practices. I think the guys thought, we're going to go, they're going to play zone, and we're going to make shots, and then it didn't happen, and then, I think they kept thinking in their mind, even at halftime, hey, we're going to come out. Xavier's got a 12-footer to start the second half, misses, turns down the next one, and then it just, we just never got over the hump. We had, do a better job executing and finding other ways to score. And then, we just needed one guy. I thought Xavier did in the first half. He stepped up and he was very active and, a lot of different things. But one guy to just come and make a couple plays for us. And then now you got yourself in a bind and let a game slip away. So it's, we watched the whole film yesterday with the guys. We learned from it, come back, got to get something done in practice. And, this week's a crazy week with exams. We got, different practice times. And, we have a good group. We had a great culture. I think they're coachable. I think we'll get better. And, we just got to move forward. That's all you can do.
Your four guys, your four leaders.
Yeah.
Vested interest, core of the group.
Yep.
Very disappointing loss. Well, maybe did you have a conversation with them, or what were they like after the game? What did you say?
They were disappointed. We were all disappointed. That was a gut check. That was, you got low blow. It didn't feel good, and that's why we had some time this week with not another prep game till Saturday, and so we took time to watch it. I made them interact. I made them write stuff down yesterday. And just so that they, it's not what we see, it's what they see, and now they got to, take a step. It's just, I know we'll see how they come back to practice. I think that's the biggest thing. And, we got to have leadership. Culture is dictated by leadership. And, they've been great so far. I've bragged on them since the spring. Now we had a disappointment. Now how do they come back and respond to it? I think that's the biggest thing. It would have been nice to get a little more out of our bench. But I think the thing I emphasize is that if the older guys, it's easy for the bench if the older guys, the experienced guys are playing well. Now they can just kind of fit in the little pieces in the puzzle. But when there's not consistency from those guys, then it's tougher on them.
You mentioned that you thought that they were a little bit too hyped and too ready. Could you maybe clarify what you mean by that?
I thought we had great energy and excitement going into Vandy. Same thing as Upstate. We talked about it. We talked about the locker room, just being ready to play. I think they went out there. There was, a good crowd. They had some noise in the building and some excitement. And I think we went and, right away we have a 2-on-3 and Barry goes in and we just went a little fast and I think we just, like I say, I think we thought we were just going to move the ball, shoot threes and beat them, all of a sudden now those things didn't happen. And now it's like you're up here, woo, so now how do you recover? And we just never got over the hump to recover. You're still at halftime, you find a way to be up 3. And like I say, I think that, I think it was a real letdown when we actually moved the ball a couple of possessions to start second half and just missed wide open shots. And now it's like, what do we do now? And then we didn't have anybody just to really step up.
What can you do to get more production out of the bench? Just got to throw those guys out there and let them sink or swim?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. There's no doubt about it. And, give them, it's like, if you look at some of our guys' lines, the older guys, they play a lot of minutes. I'm a bench guy, and they could say, I could go in and go 0 for 7 from 3. It's so, but they also have to play better in practice. And that's how they get confidence. That's how we get confidence. And then it makes it a little easier. You stick with them a little longer. But, I think Ahmad's found a little bit of a niche, active steals, rebounds. He's got to be a little more sound on defense. We thought Levi gave us some good minutes against Vander. We know he did. Mao just, he has struggled in certain games, and I don't know exactly what it is. We need him to give us something. Brian Patrick probably need to throw him out there. Hindsight, you're always questioning. Brian could have maybe gone out and made a basket, here or there. So, and then Cartier's been pretty good, and then, so he's gone up and down like a lot of freshmen. And but again, to me, I keep hounding on him that's in practice. It's how his practice are. It's really good one day. He's one of the best players out there, and the next day he doesn't come back with that. And that he's got to learn that.
You've had great leadership through the years, through your career, and I know you can spot great leadership. Do you see that in these core group of four guys, that this is unacceptable, that there's an anger that this will not happen?
Yeah, I think so. They learn. Again, we watched film yesterday. We'll see when practice comes. That's what. And I think more than anything, take coaching. Part of leadership is that the leaders take the coaching. They're the ones, and then they got to demand it from themselves and then the other guys. Because that's important. But I know they care. I know how hard they worked. It ain't a lot of it. Go back, Coach Snyder's goals. Don't accept losing. Don't eliminate mistakes. Never give up. I mean, those are things that that we, everyone during the year is going to have a setback. And then how do you deal with it? And how do you respond? We had ours a little earlier than maybe we thought, but maybe that gives us a little more time to figure it out.
Is it better to have that setback?
I don't know. Hindsight, we talked about it as a staff. Last year we went to Europe and had a couple of setbacks, got our butts kicked by the Kosovo team, and we learned a lot from that. And because we could show them. Yesterday we could show them, look at this, guys. You think you're doing this, you think you're doing that. Look why are you here? Why are you there? And so it's a chance to learn. But you always want to learn. Obviously you want to learn from a success or a win. It's never fun to learn from a loss.
I know you want more out of Mac and Mao and Levi. Are they close to where you want? Or what?
I think Mac, we got one. We didn't throw them the ball. Him and Mao get one touch each, and we got to look at them and trust. But part of it, again, it comes to practice, trusting. They throw them the ball. The guys, do they catch it? Do they make the play? But our guys, we got to give them a chance. We got to throw it to them. If anything, get it inside, so that sucks the defense down. Now you might get something a little bit different. So that otherwise zones are just going to just let him be and worry and gang up on everybody else. So, but there's again, it's really new for all those guys, and just slowly but surely we got to hope they make progress. That's the biggest thing.
Just after a loss like that, do you have to tweak the zone offense a bunch?
Some of it, I think one of the things we did at halftime, maybe the coaches we got to try this, we got to try that, instead of saying, hey, we got to execute better, we got to do things, we got to cut harder, we got to cut in the right spot, we got to have better timing. So I think, there's some different actions we can run, different sets or looks, but, I think the biggest thing is, hey, we got to execute a little better, especially when you're not making shots. If you go back and look, first half, we had wide open shots, and the last two games, 58, 50 from three. If you shoot 20 from three, you win the game. So it's, I think that now we learned, when you don't make shots, how are you you got to be able to execute, make other plays, better passes, get in the paint. I thought Cam in the second half got a couple little runners. The other thing, too, it was a very low possession game. And that's one thing we've talked to the guys about. Every game's different. Look around the country. And, you have to learn to play in different tempos of games. And, it's great to go, woo, 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 but then other games, somebody says no, We're not going to let you go that, up and down, up and down, up and down. And now you got to figure it out.
You always referred to Wes as a stat stuffer. If Xavier, if he gets more
Yes.
consistent rebounds and ups his assists, can he be that same type of guy?
Yeah, there's no doubt. He's got the elite athleticism. And it's something I've been really on him about. And right before the game, I actually said something. He said, I got you, Coach. And he went out and did it, 8 rebounds and 4 assists, steals, block shots. He's very active. And that's what we need all the time. That could, obviously a rebounding dilemma, he could definitely help it. Instead of getting 2, getting 7, 8 every game. He should be a 5-6 guy average, not a 2-3 guy. There's no doubt. And that'll help him too, his career and his progress as a player.
Speaking of him, he's shooting. I know it's still early, but he's shooting right at 20 percentage points higher from the free throw line. Is that something that you saw from the end of last season to now that you saw coming, or are you even impressed at how well he shot?
Yeah, a lot of them have really shot, and then ironically, Cam misses the back end of 2 free throws after shooting so well. But his focus, his understanding, his commitment, it's been great, and he's put himself in the gym, and sometimes you gotta go through it as a freshman to learn and grow, and that's what he's done.
On top of your head, can you recall another player you had that have made such a big jump from maybe one year to the next?
I think if you look at DJ's, but he had no basketball, and the only thing he could do is shoot free throws. And I said, you better at least be able to make some free throws, and he had a huge jump, maybe even bigger than that. But it's comfort zone, it's confidence, it's routine, rhythm.
Is there anything left you want to fine tune before Big 12 starts?
Oh, zone offense. We got to get better on. We got our block out. It's something we've really worked on. We do have some practices coming up. We got, you got probably 3.5, 4 days this week. You got, a day next week, and then you come back before the conference. And we haven't had a lot of practice. We probably since we started games. You think about it, it's been a month, and you got 10 games. You got to give days off. You got travel days. We haven't had a lot of practice. When I say practice, not preparation days and then post days. So, with a preparation day and a post day, you got 10 games and you got 10 preps and 10 post days. That's 30 days. That's your month. So you mix in there, only a handful of practices. So now that's why this week is so important. The leadership that he talked about coming back to practice, being coachable, getting better.
So would you say that, obviously like football went through it this year. They lost to Vanderbilt and had the bye week. Would you say you'd rather have more practices this week or get back on the
Well, I think it's good to have practices now. I wish they weren't in exams, but, we need some practice time. And, it's like I say, we just haven't had much practice time. So now, hey, here's a couple things we need to get better. Let's get better at it.
You mentioned the shooting woes from Saturday. Where do you evaluate your team defensively right now?
Well, it's still. The only thing we had them at 54. And then we fouled at the end. They make one shot and then they foul. We have to foul at the end. So, our numbers are still pretty good. You got to have the stops down the stretch. They scored down the stretch. Now they made a couple tough shots, but they did make the plays down the stretch. So that's important. To be able to finish a game and get the stops. You can win games with stops as long as and making shots. And both of them. That's what people don't always realize. So that part of it, we got to get better. The ball screen defense, they put us in some binds. They got us. We didn't react very well a couple times on the pick and pop. Some of that little stuff.
I know this was about the time frame. You were kind of picturing James maybe getting into it.
Yeah, he's sprinting today, this week. Maybe not any live action, but he worked out yesterday again. Coaches have taken him individually, a lot of hooks, again, you're talking 2 months, no conditioning, no nothing. So it's gonna take a little time, and we'll see. I hope maybe around Christmas, we come back after Christmas and get him back into some live stuff and see how he's doing.
How about Mike?
Mike, same thing. Mike, he's full go now. This is when I sat down with him you guys asked about it about 10 days ago. I said, Mike, we got some practice coming up. Let's see how you do. You go to practice and you play well and you earn it. You earn that it looks like you should get some minutes. Then I'll let it up to you. You make the decision. You miss 8-9 games at that point. Now you can make that decision. I never say to a young man you should redshirt, you shouldn't. I let them make the decision because it's their future. I can make suggestions, and that. I don't want them to be. I told him I don't want 4 years from now you say, why didn't you tell me to redshirt coach when I only got this many minutes? So I just you try to be logical and present the facts to him and then see where it goes. But you look back, hey, maybe he could have went in and made a couple shots or changed the game, win the game. So it's but hopefully the other guys play well and then we can make a decision from there.
You played Arizona State and Vegas. Did you have a sense that they were going to be this good?
Yes, I had no doubt. I watched them on film. I had no doubt. Now, I didn't know you wonder if they could shoot like that all the time. But we told the coaches, the Kansas coaches, I mean, they're good. You better be ready. So, and they were. And they got it. They're older guys. They're committed. They got their butts kicked for 3 years. They've worked at it, and they're playing at a high level. So, what number one RPI, BPI, whatever all those ratings I think right now. So,
They were getting number one votes today.
yeah, you talk about beating San Diego State, not just beating them, crushing them. Beating us, crushing Xavier, beating Kansas at Kansas. Some pretty good wins. So they're good. What I think we showed we can compete with them, but it doesn't mean anything. Now you got to get wins. That's the most important. They can get better and get wins. If you get better, you will get wins.